Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and do I have a game for you guys today? So, as you can see from the leaderboard there, well, the loading screen, I'm in the Tier 6 French Premium Battleship Dunkirk, and I've been up-tiered to a Tier 8 game on the North map. Now, I was actually recording this for part of a Dunkirk review, which is still coming out. What happens in this game is too good to just be B-roll for the Dunkirk review. I mean, don't worry, it may still be. I have some other footage I can put there, but I feel that this game deserves to be shown. So, as you can see, I am in the Dunkirk, which is already a pretty squishy battleship at Tier 6. So being up tiered to Tier 8 is a bit of a pain. You know, you have 25 millimeters of armor. Pretty much all the other, well, yeah, pretty much every single Tier 8 battleship can pin your armor, even through the bow. So it's not really a good time to be a Dunkirk. On top of that, all the Tier 8 cruisers can pin you with their HE rounds, so that stings even a bit more. Top it all off that you probably have the smallest guns in the game. Definitely of the battleships. I mean, you still have bigger guns than the cruisers, but I'm speaking in terms of battleships. You definitely have the smallest guns there. And plus you have a huge detection radius comparable to your firing range, so you can't really hide and shoot. So you're kinda up the creek without a paddle and the canoe sinking. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Dunkirk, it can still do stuff at Tier 8. It's just it usually doesn't live very long doing it. And my thoughts on the Dunkirk are pretty simple. I enjoy the Dunkirk. I think it's a fun ship to play. It is definitely very, very squishy, but it's very fast, very maneuverable, and yeah, you have the smallest guns, but they do have a very fast velocity, so when you catch something's broadside, it stings. It stings pretty dang hard. As far as the build that I have for the Dunkirk, I went with magazine mod 1, the first anti-fire mod. Then I went with the aiming systems mod to help, because the Dunkirk does have pretty bad dispersion, not gonna lie there. Went with the aiming systems mod to get that nice negative 7% to your dispersion, or whatever. You know, makes your dispersion 7% better. And then damage con 2, and I think that's all I can fit. Oh no, then I went with, no, yeah, that's all I can fit because it's a Tier 6 ship. So that's the module build. My captain build is actually my Gascon captain, so oddly enough, this Dunkirk has a secondary build on its captain because I was short on French captains, and I had moved my captain from Dunkirk over to Gascon and got a 12-point captain out of him. So on that captain, I have preventive maintenance, MLG turrets, BFT and AFT, and adrenaline rush. So I have adrenaline rush in Dunkirk, and also above average AA and secondaries. You may notice my secondary range is, I believe, like, was it 6 or 8 kilometers? I think it's 6. So yeah, I have a Dunkirk with very good secondaries, which probably isn't really that helpful. In fact, it's not. But I just needed to get some footage for Dunkirk for a review, so I just threw the Gascon captain on there. But anyway, there is the Dunkirk's big brother, the Richelieu. He's giving me a rather large, chunky broadside there to shoot at, so I happily oblige and shoot at him. And man, yeah, that dispersion though. And I get a shatter and a bounce. Go figure. So the plan for this game, at least when we were discussing it with my team at the start of the match, as some of you may have read in chat, was going to be BC. However, some ships have gone to A. And we're also down 2 destroyers already. And they've only lost a cruiser. Yeah. This is on the weekends too. So you can imagine what I'm thinking right now. So over here at the sea cap, we don't have any spotting going on, so I'll go ahead and then launch my catapult plane just to get some spotting going on, so I can, you know, at least push up with some confidence. The thing about Dunkirk too, I've already said it's very squishy, but I mean, you show your broadside to anything that's remotely battleship-ish, you're going to get a citadel. Well, I mean, they're going to get a citadel on you. So, yeah. Not a not the perfect ship to be in a tier 8 game with. Oh, speaking of French battleships, here comes the Richelieu again. Broadside on to me again in the Dunkirk. Ooh, that's actually some pretty good groups right there for the Dunkirk, ain't it? Okay, did like 9k, not a Citadel, but I mean, I really feel like that should have been a Citadel hit right where his Citadel is, but didn't have enough oomph to get through that armor. So there is a New Mexico that I'm about almost pulled out broadside onto. He had HE loaded for whatever reason, but everything missed me anyway. Waiting to see if I can get another salvo off from that Richelieu, and I can. And again, disappointment. Pretty decent pins, but no Citadel. So now I'm backing up. I'm undetected because that New Mexico's right there, and I definitely do not want to show my sides to a New Mexico. That thing has 12, 14-inch guns, and they hurt bad. It's also one of the other tier 6 battleships in the game, but still, you don't want to be showing your broadside of that. Oh, and look, speak of the devil. Well, I didn't really speak of the devil, but you know, whatever. Here's some torpedoes, but thankfully they run out just in time. Dunkirk has 27% torpedo protection damage reduction, so it's okay by tier 6 standards, but it's still pretty bad for a ship as squishy as the Dunkirk. So now what I decided to do is to just go up and cap, because look, the enemy team has 2 caps, we're down 4 ships already, we've only managed to sink one of their cruisers. It doesn't look good, and again I get lucky there. First off, that Mexico is still firing HE instead of AP, and most of his salvos missed. So I'm pushing into the cap, just trying to get some cap points on the board. And that New Mexico is looking at me thinking, that's a nice, squishy Dunkirk I can eat for lunch. And again, Dunkirk doesn't have any turrets in the back, so I gotta rotate my turrets all the way to the back, then show a little broadside to get my turrets on target. I aim fire and immediately try to angle, but for some reason the Mexico decided not to shoot at me, and I get a Citadel on the New Mexico, one of the most heavily armored tier 6 battleships, and I get a Citadel on it with Dunkirk guns. That was magical. Now unfortunately I get chased out of the cap by these torpedoes. Even if I had started to slow down, I wouldn't have been able to stay in the cap. So, but I again begin to bust a Yui and to start moving back into the cap, and we still have no cap. We haven't had a cap this entire game, and our score shows that we're down in the 140s while the enemy team's up in the 560 in terms of points. Here comes some more torpedoes,
direct front.
and I slam on the brakes, but they run out of steam again. Look at Amagi. And it's not looking good for our team. We still haven't managed to sink another ship yet. And the enemy team, they got 2 of the cap points. At this point, they really don't have to push us anymore. But, I mean, of course they are. Take some shots at the Amagi. Actually, get a pin and an overpin. Better than nothing. I honestly thought that was all going to bounce. And, oh, look. It's an almost dead destroyer. We should most definitely shoot at that, team. Hey, team. We should most definitely shoot at that. There we go. I'm surprised everyone just didn't jump on that thing the second it got out there. Oh look, a broadside cruiser. And I'm in Dunkirk. You gonna take that? So now we finally starting to gain some points, not through capping, just through sinking 3 of their ships, but we're still down 4-3, and they're pushing us something fierce. We're at a huge points disadvantage now. And I'm in a Dunkirk still. And speaking of the devil, there's again that Richelieu, who's I'm still haven't managed to get any decent pins on him yet. Still got some pins on him there, nothing too major. I don't know how I haven't Citadel that thing yet. He's been doing nothing but showing me broadside this entire game. I guess the RNG just said no, or maybe my shells aren't thick enough to pierce through to his Citadel. That's probably it. But now I got ships coming up. Ooh, yep, but he sure can pierce through to my Citadel. That hurt. I got ships coming up behind me. I got tier 8 ships in front of me. Tier 8 ships coming behind me. There's a Massachusetts there. There's also a what is that thing? A Seattle? No, not Seattle. Buffalo. So I got a whole group of tier 8 ships coming up behind me. Tier 8 ships in front of me. I have to make a choice. So I decided to swing my ship around and just do some work on these ships behind me. Just hold out for as long as I can. Because I know if these guys get through, it's pretty much over for my team. We're still at a huge disadvantage. Even though we are now gaining points with the cap. So here we go. Got a Massachusetts right there. He's showing me his broadside. And his secondaries are opening up on me. And they sting quite a bit because of my armor. So let's look at the situation. We've got a Massachusetts, a destroyer, 2 cruisers popped up in front of me. Oh, look, there's a 3rd cruiser. So I'm now 1v1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships. And there goes another one of our ships. Oh, hello, shores. That's a nice broadside you got there. And again, this is where adrenaline rush comes into play, because I do have adrenaline rush from the ship, remember? My reload just keeps getting lower and lower. Get a citadel on the shores right there. I'm watching that Massachusetts. He's, for some reason, paying me no attention. I am a super easy target for the Massachusetts to take care of. And again, the Dunkerque's armor is only 25mm, so all this HE is hurting me pretty... Even though it's not doing a lot of damage every time, it still hurts every time they hit me with it. There's the Cleveland. Take some shots at him. Get some overpins and some bounces. And now I am in the mode to where it's just, okay, these guys are charging me. Shores has torpedoes. I just need to go forward and either ram them or do everything I can to make sure, at least I get a couple of them with me. At least I take a couple of them with me, not get a couple of them with me. My poor English. So now I am heading forward, and the Shores opens up to get his torpedoes out. That's his mistake. Goodbye, Shores. Tier 7 cruiser taken out, but he did get his torpedoes off. And there I go. Now, in the time that was going on... Okay, look at this. This Queen Elizabeth, he's firing HE at a bunch of broadside cruisers. He's in a British battleship with British AP. I'm pretty sure the Queen Elizabeth has British AP. I know the Warspite has normal AP, but I'm pretty sure the Queen Elizabeth has British AP. And she's broadside on to a bunch of enemy cruisers. British AP absolutely wrecks cruisers. And he was firing HE. I don't know what to say about that. But he gets taken out. The two of the other cruisers get taken out, and now this is North Carolina against this Buffalo. We are 4 ships to 2 ships right now, and then this North Carolina does this for some reason. So I'm not sure if you let that fire burn out or if you put it out with damage con. But he turns away from this Buffalo, gets another fire set on him. I don't know why he turned away from the Buffalo, because Buffalo doesn't have torpedoes. I'm assuming it's a pretty well-known thing. So he turns away from him, which means he only gets one of his turrets on target without exposing his broadside like he's doing now. And I mean, I know the Buffalo's HE spamming, but still, if you show your broadside to an HE spamming cruiser, it's much easier for them to set a fire on your stern, midsection, and bow versus just bow tanking them. And NorCal gets taken out. Now, again, I don't know if he just burned damage con on one fire or what, but he's dead. So now it's 3 of our ships, 2 cruisers and a destroyer, against their Buffalo and their New Mexico. Now, New Mexico is a Tier 6 battleship, but it is a very, very tough Tier 6 battleship. And we got this Gnevny over here fighting a Buffalo, which is very, very good at killing destroyers. So he wisely decides to disengage from the Buffalo and start going after the New Mexico. Now look at the cap points, look at the time left. There's about 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, and we are still 400 points behind. So we have to kill these last 2 ships in order to win. Now the Buffalo is engaging with our team, my team's Buffalo, and our Cleveland. Cleveland is very, very close to dead. Like, very close to dead. And I don't know why, but he's shooting AP at a bow on Buffalo. I really don't know why. Cleveland's a very good HE spamming cruiser. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand shooting AP and a cruiser when you have, and of course they collide, because why not? I understand shooting AP and a cruiser when you have a broadside target, but he should have been shooting HE, and the Buffalo just smacks him in the face. So now it's a Buffalo and Buffalo, Cadavity versus New Mexico. This is a very, very close game, and that I don't know why their Buffalo starts shooting AP. So this is still an extremely close game. All these ships have to do is survive, and they win. There's no way for my team to come back via cap points at this time. It's just too far of a gap. There we go. There's the 5-minute mark. Maybe if somehow we got all 3 caps and the 2 enemy ships just ignored them, then maybe they would have won. Maybe we could win by points, but practically we can't win by points at this time. Okay, so our Buffalo hits the brakes, makes a very smart call there. And their Buffalo is again still shooting AP. I don't understand why. And our Buffalo is rightly using HE and shooting their Buffalo in the face. This is a very strange match so far. Okay, so he's dead. Now I'm sorry, not Buffalo. Baltimore. Is that a Baltimore? Is that a Buffalo? Man, I'm getting some jingle syndrome right here. Anyway, our Tier 8 American cruiser is now broadside onto the New Mexico, who had HE loaded. If that New Mexico would have had AP loaded, he would have wiped that Baltimore, Buffalo, whatever it is, off the face of the map. I think it's a Baltimore. Whoops. But no, he had HE loaded, and now he's paying dearly for it, and we just won that. What? You don't have comebacks like that on the weekend. That was crazy. I did 96,000 damage in Dunkirk, and I'm on the top of the leaderboard, and I'll look at that. It was a Baltimore. I can read it now. Again, guys, I watched these videos back in Shotcut, 4DP, 30 FPS. I'm sorry. I can't read all the fine text. But that was a game, and I was top of the scoreboard in a Tier 6 Battleship, which has cardboard for armor. Oh my god, that was a crazy game. And of course I get 2 British containers. And do you guys think I get lightning in these 2 containers? No, I don't. This is going well over 100 containers now. Still haven't got lightning yet, and destroyers come out of the next patch. If I really want, I'll just get it via because I do have the Tier 7 British destroyer. So yeah, that was a crazy game, guys. I did not expect us to win that. I just wanted to share that game with you guys. It's funny, at the end the cruiser's shooting AP when he should be shooting HE, and of course the Battleship has HE loaded when he should be having AP loaded. What a strange time it is in World of Warships right now. Very, very strange. So again, thank you all so very much for watching. If you liked the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to turn the notifications on. And if you are feeling really generous, make sure to share the video with your friends, because we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Because we've been growing so fast lately, I'm feeling comfortable with moving the next milestone to 1,000. I'm pretty sure we'll get there well by December-ish. So again, thank you guys so very much for watching. Catch all of you guys in the next one.